Hi there, folks. This is Adam from 8Badge Gaming coming to you today with the first video of gameplay in our Lurantis Garbodor series. Now, unfortunately, we did run into some video recording issues with two games that we've tried to do so far, so I do apologize if this video is coming up a little later than normal, but we're still hoping to get it out on time. With that said, we're going to go ahead and hop right on into our queue there now and see what we get paired up against in our first recorded video for our Lurantis Garbodor deck. Now, we're looking for an opponent there at the moment, and we have our match. So we're paired up against what likely appears to be Zoroark Gardevoir Glade. Based on the typing that we were able to see there, we did win the coin flip, so we would like to take the first turn here. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a Trubbish here by the looks of it, and we're going to likely go for a Lele. Let's see, so we're going to start the Trubbish, we're going to Lele for hopefully a Bridget, get a setup of another Trubbish and likely two Fomantises. So let's see if we have our prizes here. So looking at our prizes, we're going to start off looking through our supporters. We have both of our Bridgets. It looks like we actually have a lot of our ends prized. We've got two ends in hand, so it looks actually we have two ends prized. So we've got an N and an N. Let's look at this written down here now. Trubbish-wise, we do have all of our Trubbishes intact, all of our Garbodors. It looks like one of our Lurantises is prized. We have our other Lele here. We do have an Evo Soda in hand, so that checks off there as well. Looks like one of our Dumbbells is prized. We do have a Floatstone in hand, and it looks like we have a Grass and a Psychic prized. So we're going to go for Bridget. We have our prizes noted there now. We're going to go for Bridget into a Trubbish, Fomantis. Then we're going to Floatstone on a Trubbish. We're going to retreat into a Fomantis, put an energy onto the Fomantis, and we're going to pass back to our opponent's side here. Now on our turn, we're likely going to Eva Soda for a Garbotoxin Garbodor, and that mainly means that we're going to be looking to shut down our opponent's abilities here. He's starting off with a Bridget, and what we have to hope is that they're keeping a poor hand with no draw supporter. And we're actually getting a KO on our Fomantis starting off here. We're going to discard the Lele. And we're going to be a bit sad here. We probably shouldn't have attached the energy. I didn't suspect our opponent would go in energy-wise on a Fomantis knockout, a double colorless onto a Tapu Lele, as the deck really wants to have those. So let's see, our opponent has nothing there. Let's Ultra Ball, discarding a Psychic and an N. And we're going to go for a Lurantis. We're going to Lurantis here. We're going to Evo Soda, Garbotoxin Garbodor onto our active Trubbish. Then we're going to go for an N, hopefully disrupt our opponent's game plan here a little bit. We did get a Grass Energy, so we can suit up our Lurantis for a Solar Blade right away. So let's go for a Choice Band on the Lurantis, as well as an Energy. We're going to retreat into the Lurantis here, and we're going to Flower Supply, hitting for 70 on the Lele, and we're going to attach two energies to the Lurantis here, because that's going to enable us to Solar Blade for knockout next turn. So we're set up a little bit here. We have our opponent under the hate with the Garbotoxin. He's not going to be able to trade unless he has a Field Blower in hand. Now I know typically Zoroark decks are usually only running 1 to 2 Field Blowers at most, even though they are susceptible to the Garbotoxin hate, but the main purpose of that is that they do have the Puzzle of Times to be able to buy them back. Now, what we might try to do here is if our opponent tries to go for a set up, we can get prepped here for a KO back plus some healing. We can actually throw down a Garbodor here now with a Trash Avalanche, and I think we're going to Cynthia here. We don't want to use the Guzma just yet. Our opponent is getting a little close to damage-wise on us here as well. We did get another Trubbish, but I think we're actually going to pitch it and a Guzma to go for our third Fomantis here. We want to get that and then potentially go for a Lurantis on the following turn. We don't have any energy on our discard here. We're going to keep the dumbbells in hand, and we're going to Solar Blade for knockout, healing a chunk of damage off of our Lurantis here. So if our opponent is kind of card stuck here, which it does appear to be so with him doing a second Bridget, unless he's just trying to set up for a Garbodor on this turn, we did hit another Lurantis here as well, and he is throwing up a Zoroark. So let's see if he has any of the go-between evolutions. We are seeing a Field Blower here, which is sad times for us, as they're going to take out the Choice Band and the Float Stone. Now, we do have a Dumbbells to throw on here now as well, which is something at the very least, and our opponent still did have a Sycamore there as well, pitching a Guzma and going for a full hand. We're going to see now if he does get the Gardevoir or Gallade going here. He's not currently able to take a KO, hitting for 190 hitting for 120, bringing us up to 190 on our Lurantis with his Zoroark. Now, if he does trade into a Choice Band, he will take a KO here, which is going to be a bad time for us. Now, we have to think he is putting quite a few items into his discard. We've got 1, 2, 3 here now. So I feel that we go ahead and we put up our Fomantis here. We throw a Floatstone here, a Bodybuilding Dumbbells here. We put down a Fomantis onto here. We end our opponent low, hopefully to 3 here now. We did get an Energy as well as a Bridget. So we can go Energy here. We can go for a Flower Supply, hitting for 40 and putting 2 energy onto our Lurantis, which lets us hit for 150 with a Chloroscythe next turn, which still isn't quite a KO. Now, our opponent is hopefully card stuck here. Now, they are going for an N, which technically does put us up a card, and it might get some useless cards out of our hand here. It's probably not improving their chances, other than just seeing 3 other cards. So, let's see. We've got a 150 here now. We can rescue Stretcher back in 2 Fomantises and a Lurantis, which is what I think we're going to do. So we're going to shuffle Pokemon into our deck. 2 Fomantises and a Lurantis. We're going to Field Blower, taking away the Parallel City and the Choice Band here. We're going to keep the Bodybuilding Dumbbells in here right now. Actually, it's just as well. We'll throw the Bodybuilding Dumbbells down here, and we're going to Sycamore, going for just straight card advantage. We did get an Evosoda and an Ultra Ball. We're actually going to Ultra Ball, discarding the Garbotoxin and a Field Blower here. We're going to go for another Fomantis, which we could hopefully evolve on our turn. We do still have some Grass Energy left in the deck. We're going to go now for a Solar Blade, which puts us down to outside of KO range if our opponent doesn't have a Choice Band. Now, if they have a Choice Band, we're KO'd. And then we're in a bit of a dire strait. We can, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can hit back for 60, which will still be a KO with our Trash Avalanche Garbodor, but our opponent's then at 1 prize. and if they can KO our Garbodor, we're a little bit boned there. We are being put up to 240 damage here. So let's go ahead. We're going to Evosoda for a Lurantis. We can't Flower Supply just yet to potentially put a Psychic Energy onto the benched Lurantis, but we can take a KO via Solar Blade on this Zoroark. So now we're down to requiring just 2 prizes. We have double Guzma in hand, so we have the technical setup that we might need here to go for a KO on any of his benched Pokemon. Now, if he has Rare Candy into Energy Supporter Glade or Gardevoir here, we're a little messed up. He is pitching another item. He's going for Gardevoir. He's not going to be able to Secret Spring, but he is going to be able to potentially KO here. Yes, so he will be taking a KO on our Lurantis, and we will be a little boned here. Okay, so he has a Gardevoir, and the Gardevoir is potentially hitting for a bunch of damage here. It doesn't take a KO on our Lurantis. We can Flower Supply onto Lurantis here and go for a potential bunch of damage. Now let's see what our opponent's item count is up to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 140. So what we can actually do here is we Guzma up the Zoroark. We attach an energy to the Lurantis, and we just actually go for a Trash Avalanche. So it's not a one-hit KO, but it's a 2-hit KO. He needs 2 energy now to get Zoroark out of the active. He needs a Field Blower to be able to use his abilities. So we're hoping that he's stuck here now. He's in a position where we take the victory if we can just get the turn back, and we do. So we're sitting now currently at 1-0 using our Lurantis Garbodor deck. I will technically count it as a 2-0, where the first video that we recorded, which was against Ultra Necrozma, we were able to take the win there as well, but the recording got botched by our OBS, which is our recording software, just not encoding it properly. So we are currently sitting at, I will consider a 2-0 in our gameplay series, even though this is the first game that you are seeing on your side. It is a pretty consistent deck so far. The 30 HP off of the healing on our Lurantis is actually a pretty big deal so far. I gotta say, it's been doing wonders for us, messing with our opponent's numbers, keeping them from getting us with a quick KO, usually in the 2-shot war. And bodybuilding dumbbells has also been great for us right now as well. Bodybuilding dumbbells there on our Trash Avalanche Garbodor being the risk that we took to actually go for a 2-shot overtime on the Zoroark. If he had had a Field Blower there and a DCE, he would have been able to win, but it required him to have 2 very specific cards, and he had already used at least a Field Blower, discarded one of the puzzles, only had 4 cards in hand. So we were able to take out a win. So with that said, we do always greatly appreciate your viewership. We hope you tune in for the future games in this series. I do look forward to playing this deck in future games here as well. And this is Adam with 8 Badge Gaming signing off.